Like they say, there is no smoke without fire.
There's a coup happening right now in Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast right now is on fire.
Hi guys, it's SYNOLVE. How are you guys doing? It is early in the wee hours of the morning here in the United States, and we have been hearing slowly reports of what's possibly happening, and I am going to say possibly, allegedly happening in Côte d'Ivoire, in the Ivory Coast. There is possibly a coup that is happening at this time. And we're going to get into it a bit. I'm going to let some of my brothers and sisters who are on the continent tell you all about it, because we're just hearing these reports. I want you to hear from them, their firsthand accounts in some cases, and in other cases they're reporting, because sometimes on the continent you can get really great news as it gets to us eventually and later, especially it's filtered through the Western media. And so I want you to hear from them. Okay, so let's go and let's listen to what they're saying.
The capital of Ivory Coast, Abidjan, in what had been described as the early stage of a military coup or large scale of civil uprising, based on the report we are getting from the citizens and also on social media. There is a fast unfolding crisis in Ivory Coast right now. The government had shut down the internet and all news transmission system across the country just to contain the mayhem that is unfolding in the country right now. Over the last 48 hours, about 60 people have been feared dead as the clashes intensified in the key areas of the capital. The uprising started as a result of widespread dissatisfaction with the president of the country. The man is accused of severe human rights abuses, increasing poverty, and maintaining close ties with the Western influence. France, I suppose you guys know, which is the long-standing source of national resentment. From me, Big Shy, okay, let me be clear with this. Let me just remind you that there are no official confirmation yet due to the internet and the communication system and the media system being shut down in the country. However, there are speculation on social media platforms across the world, especially on Twitter. There is a claim that the president of the country is either gone missing, arrested, or possibly dead. No public appearances or official statement had been made since the violence started. The violence didn't start today. I think it started about 2 days ago, apparently. Now, this is now making the speculation of, the president gone more likely. But like I said, there are no official confirmation. Let me just remind you, this is not the first time Ivory Coast would encounter instability in their country. We have the 1999 coup. We have the civil war between 2002 and 2007. And then it picked up again from 2010 to 2011. And then we have the military immunity that took place in 2017. Today's event is not a surprise at all to most of us, However, it raises the fear of a full civil war in the country. And this is something they don't need right now. They don't need that right now. The citizens accused the president of being Western puppet, being the puppet of Western powers, particularly France and the United States, with growing criticism aimed at the recent expansion of AFRICOM. He expanded the presence of AFRICOM in the region. If you don't know what AFRICOM means, look it up. At the time I was making this video, Big Shy, at the time I was making this update, the communication and the internet system in Ivory Coast is still down. And please, I beg you, there are no verified information being published yet by the state authority or or any government official in Ivory Coast. Nothing is confirmed or published yet. But one thing that is confirmed is that, from the citizens of the country, is that the army chief was shot dead during a meeting with the president or after a meeting with the president. That is the only confirmed information we got so far. The army chief was shot dead. Nothing else had been said. This is a developing event and there are rumors all over the place, as you would expect. I will continue to update you as more information becomes available. So please, nothing is confirmed. Everything I've told you right now is based on history and based on the report we're getting from the citizens and also the report we're seeing on social media. Nothing is being officially confirmed. Let's wait and see what comes next. Like I said, nothing had been confirmed, okay? But I need to keep you guys updated as things come true. Even Timo 360 is struggling to get information. He lives in Ghana and he is not able to get information. So you can imagine me on this part of the world. It is what it is. I will continue to update you guys. But for the meantime, what do you think? The president of the country is possibly dead, arrested, or nowhere to be found. And we also heard the army chief had been unalive, shot dead after a meeting or during a meeting with the president. That says a lot, doesn't it? It shows something is definitely up. Like they say, there is no smoke without fire.
Something's happening in Africa, and I've been telling you this time and again. And black people all over the world, not only in Africa, are beginning to wake up. And West has gotten to a point where it can no longer control Africa anymore. Now, Ibrahim Traoré is an influencer, as I tell you every day. He is an influencer. And he would be a bad person in Africa. We would call him a bad disease. But because he is doing things that are good, we can't call him a bad disease. You see, a bad disease is a disease that when it catches one person, it spreads all over the village or all over the area. And everybody keep on getting affected with that disease. Now, Ibrahim Traoré is a disease of change, a disease of freedom, a disease of independence, and a disease of revolution, whereby every single African have appeared to love this disease called Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Ivory Coast president messed up with Captain Ibrahim Traoré. How did it happen? What did he do? Now let me tell you. Captain Ibrahim Traoré has been used quite some time. Ivorian president have been used for some times by the West to make sure he is bringing down Captain Ibrahim Traoré. And everything has been happening from from Ivory Coast. If they want to launch their ammunitions, if they want to launch their crews to go and fight Burkina Faso, they used to do it from Ivory Coast. And I want to tell you something. People of Africa have come out to love Captain Ibrahim Traoré. And I told you, not only in Africa, not only in Kenya, not only in Tanzania, not only in Uganda, not only in Angola, not only in Mali, not only in Niger, not only in Botswana, every single African citizen, they love Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Do you know what they do? African people, African citizens, black people from diaspora, from all over the world. This is what they said. If anybody touches Captain Ibrahim Traoré, we're going to deal with him perpendicularly. We're not going to we're not going to leave anybody behind. If anyone dares touches Captain Ibrahim Traoré, we shall deal with him perpendicularly. That is what they said. And people messed up with Captain Ibrahim Traoré and they saw what happened. Okay? As we're talking right now, a planned coup has just happened in Ivory Coast. Though it never went through, but it is a coup that was planned. And the president of Ivory Coast was about to be thrown out of the government by the military that supports Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the military that is ready for a change, the military that wants to see a people who have peace people who are living peacefully, people who are having, there is justice between, in people that is being applied to the people who are living better. That military was about to throw the president of Ivory Coast because of what he has been doing to Captain Ibrahim Traoré.
It's true. Alassane Ouattara, the president of Ivory Coast, has been toppled. Yes, this is the really old man. He's actually 83. And the rumors is that basically he has been unalived, but we don't know that. But this is the guy that was chosen by Michael Langley to help assassinate the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. And he has been overthrown. My brothers and sisters of Côte d'Ivoire, you got the memo. You got the memo. You need to topple these dictators. You need to topple these people who have sucked every ounce of your blood in order to give it to the colonizers. My people of Ivory Coast. So there are videos of jubilant crowds celebrating in the streets of Ivory Coast. People are overjoyed because this man has been in power since 2010 and 83 years old. It is reported that he's a billionaire and his children are all billionaires. And so he has just been filling his big old gut with all the money from Côte d'Ivoire. And now he has been overthrown. West Africans, you are leading Africa. You're leading the way, guys. Yes.
Africa is waking up. From the dusty streets of Ouagadougou to the urban crowds of Abidjan, a storm of resistance is reshaping the destiny of a continent. Today, we witness the fall of old powers and the rise of new leaders. In this episode, we break down the unrest shaking Côte d'Ivoire, the legacy of French influence across West Africa, and the revolutionary waves spreading across the region. This isn't just news, it's a movement. Africa is rising, and the world is watching. On the surface, it appears to be another political protest. But in the streets of Côte d'Ivoire, something deeper is stirring. Citizens are calling for the removal of President Alassane Ouattara, a man increasingly viewed as a symbol of French-backed governance and elite interests. Critics accuse Ouattara of ignoring rampant poverty, limiting press freedom, and allowing foreign interests to dominate the Ivorian economy. But the biggest grievance? His perceived loyalty to Paris, not to Abidjan. Tensions have been mounting for years. From the controversial third term to military crackdowns, the government's grip on power has only tightened. But now, with widespread unrest and whispers of a military coup, the tide may be turning. Protesters are waving Pan-African flags, chanting for justice, and calling for an end to French interference in their homeland. To understand what's happening now, we have to rewind the story. France may have granted independence to its African colonies decades ago, but it never truly let go. From the CFA franc, a currency controlled from Paris, to military agreements and corporate monopolies, France has maintained tight economic and political control over many former colonies. Leaders who challenged this system, from Thomas Sankara in Burkina Faso to Laurent Gbagbo in Côte d'Ivoire, often faced violent pushback or international isolation. But the new generation is waking up. Social media, youth movements, and Pan-African thinkers are exposing how deeply embedded these foreign systems remain, and how urgently they must be dismantled. Among the figures leading this wave of change is Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the 36-year-old military officer who took power in Burkina Faso in 2022.
Breaking news, there's a coup happening right now in Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast right now is on fire. People are burning down houses. Alassane Ouattara, the Ivory Coast president, he's missing. He's nowhere to be found. Nobody knows if he's dead or alive. It's like the people are fed up of his government and they are trying to overthrow him. And also they have shut down the internet in Ivory Coast. The people of Ivory Coast right now don't have access to the internet. They won't be able to post news about what is going on in Ivory Coast as we speak right now. This is a revolution that is taking place in every part of African countries. I mean, Ibrahim Traoré has been an eye-opener to the African youth and to some well-meaning African leaders. This coup that is taking place in Ivory Coast, I would call it a revolution. So So the people of Ivory Coast, if you have access to the internet, please update us on what is happening in Ivory Coast.
Major breaking news coming from the Ivory Coast right now. So apparently right now as I speak, there's a coup currently going on in the Ivory Coast. Apparently it's orchestrated by the military and the people of the Ivory Coast. Now we cannot confirm the exact details about this coup because the government has switched off the internet in the Ivory Coast. There's no one who can access the internet there right now, so we cannot get live updates. It's being said that the people of the Ivory Coast are out in the streets right now. They're burning buildings, they're out protesting. They said they want that president out. He has done too many damage to that country. Now, get this. It's being said that the president of the Ivory Coast, Ouattara, has gone into hiding. No one knows where he is, but I cannot confirm those exact news, but I will let you know as soon as I get there. They do not want this man in power. They're saying he's basically a puppet of the United States and the French. We all know he has been getting paid to try and take out Captain Ibrahim Traoré, sending his own men into Burkina Faso to do some atrocities. Now, what led to these protests? Personally, I believe the thing that sent the people of the Ivory Coast off was when President Ouattara, he said he agreed that the Americans should build a military drone base in the Ivory Coast, and not just in the Ivory Coast, right next to the border of Burkina Faso.
The United States and Ivory Coast also carries geopolitical weight. It is being seen as a part of Washington's broader strategy to counterbalance the increasing influence of Moscow and Beijing in the region. Now, the deepening military partnership between the US and the Ivory Coast marks a significant shift in Washington's approach to security in West Africa. The United States is significantly bolstering its military partnership with the Ivory Coast.
The word I used is unconfirmed reports. The reason why the reports are unconfirmed is because right now in the Ivory Coast, internet services are down and it's so very difficult to obtain accurate information from that country. But I want to read from a publication of the Tell magazine. The Tell is a reputable weekly magazine in Nigeria, and this story was written today, the 21st of May 2025. And that story is titled Gunfire, Chaos and Coup Rumors, Ivory Coast on the Brink as Uprising Rocks Abidjan. The story was written by Shola Akinyele. And I read, panic has gripped Ivory Coast capital, Abidjan, as gunfire echoed across the city in what appears to be the early stages of a military coup or large-scale civil uprising. Reports emerging from the ground and social media suggest a volatile and fast-unfolding crisis with the government visibility fading and internet access reportedly cut off across the nation. Over the past 48 hours, at least 33 people are feared dead as clashes intensified in key areas of the capital. The unrest follows widespread dissatisfaction with the President Alassane Ouattara's administration, accused of severe human rights abuses, increasing poverty, and maintaining deep ties with French influence, a long-standing source of nationalist resentment.
I think one of the things that we all know and we're realizing, and maybe the West hopefully will realize at this point, is that, and I'm sorry about my voice, guys. Like I said, it's the middle of the night. I'm getting these reports, and I was like, I got to tell my family. But I think you guys know that one of the things that's fueling this is, of course, when we were all hearing General Langley testify before this in the Senate hearings here in the U.S. about President Traoré, these negative things that he was saying, that the junta was just such an, I don't even like that word, but that he, President Traoré, was using the money and the gold to protect himself. Now, never mind that. American presidents use so much money to protect themselves. It's ridiculous. We are just getting a budget that's trying to be passed here in the U.S., and there are millions upon millions of dollars that are going to protect President Trump as he goes golfing on the weekends, not even doing business. And a jet from, and you guys may have heard of this, a jet from the Saudis or Qataris, where they are gonna this old repurposed jet that they've been trying to get rid of for years, and so now they are going to give it to President Trump. This goes against our Constitution laws here in the West. Give it to him, and then it's going to be they say, you know, they're going to give it to him, they say, and then of course it's supposed to be donated to his library, that, you know, which will take 10 years to build, take a while to build, on his exit from the United States. Of course, he's as president. What did I say? Okay. Let the ancestors speak. Some of y'all caught that. Anyway, so when Langley said that, and then he's sitting there with, in pictures, Langley is sitting there with the president of Côte d'Ivoire, and he's saying he's going to do this drone. Of course, this is explosive. This is explosive. It's an explosive moment. And then we have President Traoré in Burkina Faso, and of course Niger, President of Niger and Mali, the great kings of the Sahel. The three kings of the Sahel are accusing the president of Côte d'Ivoire and the French, and of course, by proxy, the U.S. Through General Michael Langley, of participating in this failed attempt or assassination attempt against President Traoré. It's just it's so much going on. It's so much going on, but the continent is waking up. Our African brothers and sisters are waking up. There's so much that's happening here in the U.S. Plantations, former slave plantations are burning down by the wind, like just by wind, not by arson. Just the ancestors are just. There was a museum. If you follow me, SYNOLVE, or over on TikTok, or SYNOLVE.xo over on TikTok, or SYNOLVE on Facebook, you'll see my post about that. They are, you know, just destroying the ancestors, are just completely awakening and destroying this Confederate museum that was in, you know, museum. Just so many things are happening. So many things are happening here. And look, we have just got to be strong. We've got to be strong in this moment as the West tries to come against us and tries to come against President Traoré. There's so much happening with African Americans and what we are facing, segregation, return to removing our protections from 1965, and saying that, you know, Trump has said that, you know, you can segregate if you'd like. And trying to even bring back segregation in busing in schools. It's horrible. It's horrid. And even this repeal of DEI, of diversity, equity, and inclusion protections here in the U.S. You're seeing us boycott Target, Walmart, Amazon, and so many other companies simply because of Trump's policies. And so as Trump moves against Africa and moves against the diaspora and Black people everywhere, African Americans, foundational Black Americans, then you're seeing we as a people are moving with the ancestors. We're moving together in unity. And it's not a unity that anyone is calling upon. It's just that the spirit within us is unifying. If you have African in your blood in any way, the diaspora is unifying. We're coming together and we're rising and we're standing. Africa is strong. It is powerful. It is rich. It is wealthy. And the ancestors are saying no more in so many ways, through the wind, through so many things, through the wind, through fire. They are making it known, and they are lighting and igniting a fire within each of us to stand and to say no more. We here in the West, we African Americans, foundational Black Americans, we support Traoré. We stand with Traoré, and we honor you in Côte d'Ivoire. We honor you in the Ivory Coast. We bless you and send you peace. We ask for peace for you all and for prosperity and an end to tyranny, an end to these puppet masters who are just singing along, controlling what's coming in and what's going out in terms of the wealth, and keeping our people poor all over the world, not only in Africa, but here in the U.S. and in the diaspora as well. So many things are happening. So many good things are happening as we stand together and as we see, we are awakening. We see what's happening and we are saying no more all over the world. It is a powerful, powerful moment. It is an amazing, powerful moment to be alive right now. And so I want you to stand, just keep standing, check on your family, check on each other, love each other, and make sure that everyone is okay, and stand and do what you must when you must, right? We are just in a moment. It's we had a young man just a couple of days ago whose son was murdered by the police, and he or unalived, I guess to say. Rodney Hinton was so the son was unalived. His son was unalived by the police, and he went out and you know, the Bible says vengeance is mine, says the Lord, but he unalived a policeman. And I think people are just tired. Now, I'm not advocating for violence in any way. I am a peaceful person. I love peace. But I think when you push people to the brink, I think they just get tired. And we have, for over 400 years, suffered in silence, And yes, our ancestors protested. Don't be to be clear. Understand. You will not get that part of history. That part of history was not televised. And so we did protest. We did overthrow. We did fight. We did. And so I think in the spirit of the ancestors, we will continue to fight and we will not lay down. Not this time. We won't lay down this time. But this is, you know, as I said, there is, you know, it's been not been verified at this time because they have been, they have cut off the international flights, all international flights. They've cut off the internet in Côte d'Ivoire. So we are learning. If you guys know anything about what is happening in Côte d'Ivoire, in the Ivory Coast, please, please, please let us know. We want to make sure our family is okay. We want to know that everyone is safe. So much is going on. It seems that one of their top generals who in the military was unalived, was shot. And so that has happened. It seems to perhaps because these are unconfirmed reports that the president is on the run or in hiding. And so we don't know if a new leadership will come forward or if the old leadership, the old president, he's been there for since I think around 2011, if he will come forward. We're just really not sure at this time, at this point, what will happen. But you guys keep us informed. You are in our prayers. You know, this happened, of course, a couple of years ago with Burkina Faso and President Traoré. They, the Burkinabe people and the military felt like they were just not being treated correctly. They weren't being treated well. There was poverty and there were just unfair conditions. And so they took a stand. And we are very proud of not only President Traoré, but of the president of Niger, and of course all of the people who call Niger home and love Niger, are from Niger. And of course we celebrate the people of Mali. President Côte, we celebrate you and honor all of the people of Mali and the powerful, amazing work that you are doing. You are a light. It is igniting a fire all across Africa and the entire world. More will be to come as we look to see what's happening, who's the boots on the ground. You guys are telling, as you tell your story more, and you can get your story out. We are, just know we are with you. And the ancestors are with you in your holy work, in the work that you must do to free yourselves, of course, and to free Africa from the West and from Western powers, because we cannot stay asleep. We cannot stay silent any longer. And who knows what will happen in the West. It'll be very interesting to see how or if the West responds, if Langley responds. It'll be very interesting to see how Langley, General Langley, AFRICOM, how they respond to this. It shall be very interesting to see. But I think that picture, especially of Langley, General Langley, and the president of former, as he may be at this point, we don't know, of him with standing with General Langley and announcing that they were going to put that drone Air Force Base, and then them sending an attack over from people over to attack and in a failed coup or assassination attempt of President Traoré. I think that's very damning. It was very hurtful. And the West meddling, I think they think somehow that they have more power and they're able to run things far more that exceeds their power, far greater than what they truly have. And so I think this is a time of reckoning. I think it is a time and a moment of the ancestors speaking and living in through us, and also working on our behalf to bring about change, a final freedom, because it must happen. It must be. We cannot be under the colonizer's thumb forever. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. And we will be free. We will be completely free. We'll be able to live within our prosperity, within it, the diamonds, the spread of, and gold and uranium and bauxite and so many other rare earth minerals that are spread across Africa should be blessing the people of Africa and the people within the diaspora who were stolen, right? All across the Caribbean, the United States, all throughout the world, who were stolen and displaced and kidnapped and mistreated in so many different ways, and still going through that today. We have this opportunity to stand, and our stand may look different here in America. It may look different in Côte d'Ivoire. It may look different in Burkina Faso. It may look different in Mali or Niger or South Africa or wherever it will be, but be rest assured, in the 55 nations, if you count in Morocco, in the 55 nations of Africa and the diaspora, we reach the world. We are throughout the world. Know that change is coming. Change is coming. And really, and importantly, honestly, from the ancestors, change is now. All right, guys, I love you guys so much. Please let me know what you know. If you know something, say something, okay? And I hope you've enjoyed these amazing content creators who are risking so much to tell us and keep us informed. I am so grateful for them, for each and every one of them, for stepping up and for keeping us informed in the diaspora, because we need to know, we want to know what's going on the continent and what's happening in throughout the diaspora. So you guys stay in touch, and please stay in contact with also what's happening with African Americans and all of us throughout the diaspora, as well as on the continent, because that's important. There's so much happening. And I do talk about some of those things that are happening. We'll be talking about it more over on our channel, Our Voice, Our World. So stay tuned for that. Follow me on social media. I'll leave it all below. Follow me on Patreon. Please become a Patreon. It helps me to keep doing the work that I do. All right, guys, I love you so much. I love you so much. I'm going to see you. I got links. Hop on my email list. I got links in all kinds of groups for you guys to join below. So let's get it. All right. I love you guys so much. And I'm going to see y'all in another video real soon. Bye-bye, guys.